Dave Simon on the board, Stefano Michello helping us out, and special co-host Brandon London here in studio of the Montreal Alouettes. He's injured for the rest of the season, but certainly happy to talk some football here in studio. And we'll talk some Montreal Alouettes here right now. If you have any questions, by the way, for Brandon London about the Owls or him, you can certainly do so. 514-790-1690 is the telephone number. 1-866-896-2546 for the out-of-towners. You can also email the program at matthew@tsn690.ca, or you can tweet us at tsnmatthew. Of course, Montreal losing yesterday in a, I guess, quote, meaningless game in Winnipeg. Brandon, you didn't make the trip. You had a chance to watch the game. As a professional athlete, how do you get yourself up for a game like that, where you're just trying not to get hurt?
It depends on who the individual player. You know, you have a guy like Jamel Richardson who only needed, let's say, about 10, 13 yards receiving to go over 1,000 yards. So obviously he's thinking, I want to stay healthy, but I want to get my bonuses. I want to get that. You got guys like Adrian McPherson coming in, trying to show that he deserves a job somewhere and that he's a reliable backup for AC and for us throughout the stretch. And you just, like I said, different guys have different things, so you find what it is to get you to play well and to get you, through the game. But the biggest thing is you thinking, man, I pray I don't get hurt.
Yeah. And in terms of your injury, how did that occur?
I ran a quick en route. I saw Ace, or AC, ladies and gentlemen, we call him Ace. I saw him scrambling. I saw him ready to take off. I think Ball had his eyes on him, was going to tackle him, and I went in with what we call a crackback block, hit him, and I just felt, I don't know, I just felt something weird in my knee, and it popped a little, and then, it got stuck, and right then I knew something was going on, but, that's football. That's the game we love.
How many, have you had big injuries like this before?
Actually, this is my first big injury. I haven't had surgery on anything since my junior year in college, and that was to put a pin in my wrist. I had a surgery that Tuesday. I played that Saturday. So to have surgery and be laid in bed for a couple of days and not be able to play for a long time, this is something new to me. But luckily, I got good friends like you who let me come on the radio.
Oh, sweet. Now, obviously, Montreal's got the final coming up at the Olympic Stadium. This is a great atmosphere to play in, I'm sure. As an athlete, you love it. Certainly last year it didn't work out. You had a ton of injuries on the defensive side, and it seems like all the injuries this year are on the offensive side. But what's it like to play at the Olympic Stadium with the crowd the way it is?
Oh, man, it's amazing. Like, it's so big. That place is so big. We do our walkthroughs and stuff there, and when we're running around during our walkthroughs, like you really don't get the essence. You really don't get the presence of how empowering this stadium is, and how loud they got last year, and how loud they got in 2009 against BC in that Eastern Conference final. Montreal, you guys, our fans, they're crazy, and it just offenses. You got a hand signal, and sometimes you got a young guy in there. He might mess up on a hand signal. Bam, interception. Chip Cox. Hopefully that's how it goes.
that's the prediction there. That's good. And by the way, you don't have to compliment Olympic Stadium. We all hate it here in the city as well. So it's a piece of junk. But anyway, it's GamePoints here on TSN 690. So you have the winner of Toronto and Edmonton coming in a couple weeks' time here. Is there a team that you feel more comfortable, less comfortable going up against? Is that fair to say, or is it just all about the Owls and their own preparation?
We obviously think it's all about the Owls and our preparation, but I'm not going to lie. I would rather play Edmonton than Toronto, because we have the series on them. We beat them twice, home and away. Toronto, that's going to be one of those things where they're going to come in here like fired up. You're going to get everything from them.
Maybe some fans making the trip too.
Fans making the trip. Yep. You're going to have Chad Owens won the show while he's the most exciting player in the CFL. Ricky Ray, and you don't want to have to deal with all that. Edmonton's going to come in and they're going to obviously play hard. Coach Reed, you see the speeches on TSN. He gets those guys fired up to play, but we beat them twice, and I think we match up well against our offense. Matchups very well against their defense. So, but it comes down to the Owls. Comes down to the house. Us running, catching, throwing the football, just like pros do. That's pro football.
Is there anything that you guys do differently playing at the Olympic Stadium compared to Molson Stadium? I mean, other than the obvious, which is a different location?
First and foremost, you check your cleats. It's I don't know what type of surface that is, but I'm sorry. Like you said, I don't have to lie anymore. I hate that surface there, man. I really hate that surface there. But you check your cleats. But for the defense, they really have to have their signals and stuff down because they're obviously the ones that are affected because the crowd's going to be loud to try and mess up the opposing offense. But you go through your signals and all that. But I feel like that is the greatest home field advantage in the CFL right there. Even though it's not cold like a Saskatchewan or a Winnipeg.
Right.
It's called Winnipeg.
Oh, is that what it is now? Yeah.
Winnipeg.
I didn't know that, yeah. Well, it seems like BC might have a good one since the Owls haven't won there since, the car was invented. I'm not sure what that's about. Is it just what is it? Is it the time zone difference, the travel? I mean, what makes it so difficult to win? Obviously, they're a good team as well. That helps.
Yeah, they're a really good team, but that whole trip, you go out there, you fly in, and you just see like a beautiful city with mountains and snow and stuff. I don't know.
You could be anybody who's never been to Vancouver. You could be literally standing downtown. I remember being amazed, just looking up, seeing all these crazy mountains in the middle. From downtown, not from driving out of the city. It's literally you can see it from downtown.
Maybe that's it. I blame it on the landscaping. Maybe we're just distracted when we go out there, just mesmerized by the mountains and city. I don't know, but I've heard that stat about the Owls haven't won there since who knows how long. But that's crazy. That's crazy because we beat them at home every year I've been here. We've beaten them at home, but we just can't get it done out there in Vancouver.
All right, so obviously this is a team, Montreal, that's a little more healthy than they have been, at least than last year. You have a guy like Shea Emery, who's had such a great bounce-back year. Nasty. You saw the poll recently. I don't know if you had a chance to see it. TSN did a players poll.
I don't want to talk about that poll, man.
Oh, really?
I think I was robbed, and I don't want to throw a Kanye West tantrum right now.
All right. But which category?
Best hands in the CFL. Best hands in the CFL. But
man.
Come on, man, you're bringing the Incredible Hulk out of me right now, and I'm going to rant. Might get fined.
Who was named? Who was it?
Weston Dressler. Okay. And I love that pick. I love that pick because I can't vote. I won't vote for myself, but I'll put him down to win it. He makes some great catches, but. Let's check the tape, man. Let's go to the film room. Let's check the tape. TSN, they highlight a couple more catches this year. Less drops. Only had one the whole year.
All right. So that aside,
all right.
Shea Emery voted nastiest player. I think it was correct.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that? I mean,
here's the funny. No, Shea Emery is like
we've had him on the show. Nicest guy on the phone.
He's laid back.
Yeah,
he's so laid back. But like he said, I heard him talking one day. He said, "Man, I play linebacker. Man, that's a nasty position. Like you got to go out there and you got to play. You're getting hit every play. You're taking somebody on every play, whether it's a 300-pound lineman or some big fullback coming at you. So." Hey, you better play nasty. And, hey, Shea, hey, man, I like what you're doing this season, man. You're out there balling, so keep doing what you're doing. I didn't vote you nastiest, though, Shea.
Now, on the offensive side of things, they've had you had a few running backs this year, to say the least. Obviously, Brandon Whitaker, cream of the crop, out. Then we get to know a guy named, Victor Anderson. Looked pretty good, and then he's out. Now we see a guy named Chris Jennings. You see these guys in practice. They've both played well in the games. Did you have an inkling? Did you know that they were going to be this reliable?
Well, Chris Jennings, he wasn't here during camp this year. But we saw Victor Anderson during camp, and the first run he had in camp, I was like, wow, who's the guy with the dreads? Like he broke one down the sideline and made a couple guys miss, and I was like, wow, he's probably going to end up making the team. And then Chris Jennings comes in. I remember him from, the Cleveland Browns when he went down there, and he was all over ESPN and stuff. So Jim Pop, man, he knows how to bring in that talent, man. He knows how to bring in the groceries. So we're at this point now where if somebody goes down in any position, whoever that next guy is, we feel comfortable because as long as he knows his stuff athletically and playmaker-wise, yeah, he's going to get the job done. That's just the Alouette way.
Chatting with Brandon London of the Montreal Alouettes. He's here in studio on Game Points with Matthew Ross. We're here until 8 o'clock tonight.